noticing that your paper is not in the CIROH portal. So what a great opportunity for us to demonstrate doing this. Now, many of you have had a paper published recently. You can do the same on your computer right now. If you go to publications, add your publication. Look at this great list of, there's 138 papers. And we've kind of spot checked these, almost all 138 of them cite CIROH funding. So it's pretty cool, and I noticed yours does too. So let's do add your publication, and we'll just put in the DOI right here. And what collections? I'm feeling machine learning, I'm feeling geomorphology, and maybe how about general? For some keywords, and not a robot, and import citation.
And I want to add, if you have used CIROH Cyberinfrastructure for any of your research project, we even have the tag to add AWS, time-thread to Wukong, and Google. CIROH Jupyter Hub. So please make sure you tag it so we know your research paper is using which infrastructure.
Yeah, exactly. Thanks. So now theoretically, if we go back to publications list and we scroll down here, we should find you. Let's hit Control F, I think. There we are.
There we go.
Okay, so now you're getting credit on the CIROH portal for this paper. So.
And also we can address this in the docu blog maybe. You can write a docu blog with your paper. Feel free to contact us for that.
Yeah, exactly. So let's, thanks again, Rhiannon, for letting us do a live demo. I hope you're disappointed that I just added your paper, and I can delete it, and then you can add it if you want the fun. It was fun. Okay. And yeah, that's true. Actually, we won't do that as a live demo. But David's got a good point. You also put your data into HydroShare. We should trade places and show that. Since you put your data in HydroShare, we can also add it to the data in the portal. We'll come back around to the portal here in a minute.
Okay, so to start with our keynote today, we'll be discussing about the CIROH Hydroinformatics and research Cyberinfrastructure tools and technologies. So myself, Arpita Patel, those of you who don't know me, I'm a DevOps manager, enterprise architect for CIROH, working on the different projects, and with me, 10 Ames, you all know us, but still.
Yeah, so I'm a professor at BYU, and I'm glad to be here. Oh, and I'm wearing my CIROH hat, if you didn't notice. So I mentioned this before, I think it was last year at this meeting, that we all wear so many different hats, right? I mean, many of you, you're students, you're taking classes, you're teaching classes, you are on committees at your university, you're either directing a water lab or retiring from directing a water lab. You got all kinds of things going on. And for me, I get a lot of joy, Arpita, when I get to put on my CIROH hat, because not only is CIROH funding our research, but it's just fun. It's like cool stuff.
Yeah, a lot of things coming out from CIROH. It's exciting to see how we are accelerating hydrologic research across 28 different universities. So this is the productivity measures from 2024. We'll be talking about some of these software tools that came out, the systems, new Cyberinfrastructure research that we have in place, and we'll be discussing about some of the data sets today. And we already showed you how to add your publications there. Important. So this is what CIROH offers you. So we'll start as a base foundation. So research Cyberinfrastructure is the base foundation that we have established at CIROH. It contains all the cloud resources, on-premise resources, HPC. So no research is possible without the great compute and the storage. So we want to highlight that our team is dedicated to help you bring your, give you compute, storage for your research work.
And yeah, so let's see. Yeah, so also in addition, we have hydrologic modeling tools and technologies and outreach and education tools and technologies. Listen, the point of this is that when CIROH started, I think a lot of us sat around the room that were writing the original proposal and said, wait a second, there's a double opportunity here. There's an opportunity to use amazing tools and technologies that are already there and to talk about how they should be used in hydroinformatics. But there's also an opportunity to do research to create new tools and technologies. And so this entire stack represents existing things that we've picked up from other people that we're using. For example, we didn't create Google Cloud. But also things that have been created underneath the umbrella of CIROH that we can all use. And we really want to highlight a bunch of those technologies and tools today. You might see some of your favorite things highlighted. You may sit back and say, wait a second, my thing isn't up there. In that case, that your thing is not presented in here, there is a way you can make sure that it will be presented in next year's, assuming he gives us a second go at this, at next year's Hydroinformatics plenary. One option is to email us. That's okay. We'll probably lose that email. Another option is to make sure that your tool, data set, app, whatever, is actually in the portal. That's probably the best way for us to find it and then to reach out to you. Probably the very best way would be to get a blog post or something.
Even blog post, and you can add your products, GitHub URLs on document.
So let's start with part one, and I'm going to ask Arpita to lead this part about Cyberinfrastructure DevOps. This is her wheelhouse, as you know.
Yeah, so we have a brand new video right before DevCon that will be showing today all the hard work that our team is doing.
Advancing water research and community engagement through cloud-native technologies. CIROH delivers essential infrastructure supporting a thriving community of over 400 active researchers across 130 research projects. We've developed a sophisticated cloud-native computing environment spanning multiple partner cloud platforms, including AWS, Google Cloud, and Microsoft Azure, as well as state-of-the-art on-premises infrastructure through our Pan-Array and Wukong high-performance computing systems. Additionally, through our collaboration with the National Science Foundation, researchers gain seamless access to cloud-based HPC capabilities via the NSF Access Program. To utilize these valuable resources, we have created detailed guidance on DocuHub, CIROH's comprehensive documentation platform. For more information, please scan the QR code displayed here or visit docs.ciroh.org for step-by-step instructions on requesting access. These advanced resources are orchestrated by CIROH's Research Cyberinfrastructure and DevOps team dedicated to advancing water science through computational innovation. This expert team is led by Arpita Patel, our DevOps manager and enterprise architect. With crucial support from James Halgren, Benjamin Lee, Trupesh Patel, Manjula Singh, and Nia Miner. We remain committed to driving progress in hydrological science and water resources management during this critical era of changing climate and increasing water challenges.
I hope you're like it. So I want to thank the whole team behind putting this all together. They're here. Some of them are not here. Benjamin Lee is online, so really appreciate their help in making this available. And also, we are not by our own here. We get great support from UA-OIT to build our on-premise infrastructure. We have great support from 2I2C to bring that Jupyter Hub that you guys used for the workshop and even before. We have CIROH Google Cloud account, we have AWS account, and we recently got our Microsoft Azure accounts that our team is maintaining, monitoring, and keeping the alerts in place. And just to highlight, big shout out for our Google Cloud and AWS who are sponsoring this. I'm glad to say I was able to convince them to make this possible for the sponsorship for DevCon this year. Hopefully we'll try again next year. And the NSF resources, great resources for research.
Do I understand right that Google Cloud sponsored the boat ride last night?
Yes, and the exciting cruise that we did yesterday, it was sponsored by Google Cloud. So on top of what you paid, Google Cloud paid for that all. So
yeah.
Really, thank you for them.
And let me ask you a question. So I see on here the OIT capabilities. Now, they have interesting names. Tell us about the names and why they're named that.
UA OIT is currently.
The Wukong and the...
So Panther and Wukong, those are our on-premise infrastructure that Rupesh is maintaining from our side and working with UA OIT and bringing those HPC in place. But I see that we have more research needs. We did the survey back in December, and many of you already responded to that survey. And based on that requirement document that we collected, we found there is great need for the new HPC, and we're working with UA to bring the new HPC in place, and we'll make sure our needs gets addressed there too.
So why Wukong? What does that mean? Where did that name came from? Trupesh, why Wukong? There was a Chinese king over data? Oh. Okay, that's fine. And Panterai means what? The other one, Panterai.
Previous owner of Patel.
Was that an Indian king over data? Okay. In what language? Okay. Well, there is a quiz at the end of this. So those of you in the back of the room who are like, I don't care why it's called Wukong, pay attention because there is a quiz.
Yes. And so the DevCon, first time ever this year, we did use 4 cloud platforms to ITC Jupyter Hub, NSF Access VMs, AWS services, and Google Cloud BigQuery services. All from our IT team here help us give access to 200 attendees of this DevCon event, and also not only just give access, but to install the softwares based on the workshops. So some of these are the key projects currently deployed on our CIROH AWS. Next-gen inbox CI pipeline is running on AWS, data stream, research data streaming. We have a separate account for RTI, they're running T-Hurt there. We have separate AWS BYU account, Tethys platform is deployed there. UA, Waternode. GCP we are using mostly for CIROH to I2C Jupyter Hub, production environment, staging environment, and the new workshop hub that you all used this last few days. That's all deployed on Google Cloud. We use BigQuery, National Water Model API, which is deployed and maintained by our team. And we use Panther and Wukong for all the machine learning works, deep learning modeling coming out from all the cyber infrastructure we have.
So I wanted to highlight a sample study here. This is a study from Stevens Institute, and it just shows a workflow, and we can think about this workflow in terms of some of the tools and technologies that we just talked about. So if you look closely up here, we see that they've developed a protocol-agnostic data fetching method. So we're all sitting there needing data. They are using data that is stored in Amazon. And so there's Amazon services involved. There's a bunch of GIS data analysis stuff that happens, some image segmentation. And in the bottom middle, they told us that the system's been fully migrated to cloud-based infrastructure, leveraging the CIROH AWS. So was that hard for them to get the AWS account to do this?
No, it's not. We have one simple form, very simple. Just enter the data, what's your project about, who is the PI, and we'll give you your own institute account. You can deploy your services there, use it on your own.
Don't they need to go through the director of research at their university and maybe the president of the university?
No, it's all done by CIROH IT team, so we'll take care of giving you access, free for you guys, but it's getting paid out of our account. So
you don't have to get approved by their local IT?
Not really.
Wow, okay. So it's a very simple process. If you want to run your research in AWS using resources provided by CIROH, you can do it.
Yeah, so we have this brand new UA HPC coming in, and it plans to open January 2027. So I wanted to share that update with you all. I'll keep you updated on where it stands in terms of the progress, but this is the $96 million HPC facility that's coming to UA, and we'll make sure you guys have access to this once it's ready. So this is the building right now. It's under construction, and it will eventually look like this. And we have a brand new video for that too.
Is breaking ground at the University of Alabama. The High Performance Computing and Data Center will house a new $25 million supercomputer, providing unparalleled speed and power, connecting students, faculty, and global partners to drive research and discovery that will change the world. From water security and engineering to AI and quantum computing, the HPC will forge new relationships that spark economic growth and progress. The University of Alabama High Performance Computing and Data Center, powering progress, transforming the future for Alabama and the world.
Okay, so I have two questions for you about this, Arpita. First of all, most of us don't actually work on the University of Alabama campus. Is this a problem for us to use these resources?
So right now, the way we are giving access for our on-premise Patel and Wukong is to give them the VPN access and give them the MyBama ID. But we are working with UA OIT to make that process very simple. We won't have to go through that. That takes few days to get them into our on-premise. Right now, we'll try to make it simple eventually.
So we will all get some kind of a Bama ID?
Yeah, that's the process right now.
So basically, you're all going to end up holding an Alabama ID card so you can access that remotely. That's kind of cool. Can we use the gym too? Can we use the gym?
Oh, feel free. We will have you as a visiting scholar maybe, and so we can get you access to.
You need to pay anyway.
You need to pay. Okay. Maybe Cairo can have some pay.
Even you have to pay? Oh man. My other question was this one. Oh, I just missed it. There it is. Is that how AI works? Because I was wondering, how does AI work? And apparently, it's a chip.
Yeah.
Okay.
So a lot of projects that we feel like we'll be able to run on that, and they are even trying to get the quantum computing in place at UA HPC. So that could be something really cool.
Thank you so much. That is really exciting, and being a little bit facetious about us not all living and working in Alabama, but these really are resources that are being developed under the auspices of UA OIT, but with a lot of input from the CIROH team, which includes input from you all and your advisors and researchers at different universities. So the expectation is that those resources will be available for use outside of Alabama. So let's talk about some of the data and applications tools that you all should be, I want you to be aware of. Apparently, as of yesterday, I've been christened the working group, Hydroinformatics working group High Lord again. So that is on the quiz. The back there, make sure you're paying attention. So I'm going to be the working group director over Hydroinformatics for the coming year, and I'm looking forward to working with you all. So we wanted to highlight now some of the Hydroinformatics tools that you should not go away from this workshop without being somewhat familiar with. And the first one is HydroShare. And so we have just a brief video here. And this little video put together by Irene and Quasi. HydroShare, as you hopefully know, is developed by Quasi, led by David Tarbot at Utah State University, and a big team, including several institutions that are now part of CIROH. If you do not have a HydroShare account, please create one. Get yourself a username. It is very easy. You also don't have to go through the IT department at your university to get an account on HydroShare. And once you're there, you'll find actually very good help files. I think that's something that has been a goal of HydroShare from day one, is to have a lot of good help documentation. Here we see Irene going to a map search interface where she can find data sets that represent research data that has been created generally by individual researchers or research groups and posted on HydroShare. Sometimes the map search isn't the best way. You just want to do a type in a search and find data. Here Irene is filtering down to resources that she owns or has used, or that she owns. Here is one of the data sets that she owns. Now the question comes up, why aren't we just putting this on an FTP site? And my answer is, because it's not 1997. So don't just put your data on an FTP site. For those of you that were not born in 1997, FTP is just a folder. Just put your files there. We don't want to do that. You might be asking, why didn't I just put it on Box or on Google Drive? The difference here is you're seeing metadata galore. There was metadata at the top, including abstract, keywords. You're seeing here, you drop a readme.md file, and all of a sudden you get the formatted markdown. You see that there's a block that holds all of the files that have been dropped into the HydroShare resource. There are preview tools, like we can see here. Preview tools, they're also related, the ability to relate resources. We can't do that with just dropping files into Google Drive, can we? But if you put it in a HydroShare resource, you can take it all the way to getting a citation and a DOI. Now be careful with the DOI, because when you fully publish your data on HydroShare, it is now an immutable object that isn't for changing later. So in the same way when you publish a research article, you can't go back in and call Elsevier and tell them to please change paragraph 3, article number 2 in your paper. In the same way, once you've published your data in HydroShare, it's immutable, it's locked. So you don't have to publish it, you can make it public, and you can still get permalinks and audio modify it and so forth. So HydroShare is one of those tools that we don't want anyone in this room walking away from thinking, gee, I wish I had a place to put my data. Maybe I will invent one. No, don't do that. We don't need to do that. We'll just use HydroShare and all the things that come
I want to add that we now have HydroShare integrated with Quasi-Jupyter Hub, CIROH Jupyter Hub. So any of your files you can directly open in CIROH Jupyter Hub, run, save it, go back and put it in HydroShare. So that integration is available. Please feel free to use that on your end.
Yeah, there's a lot more secrets in HydroShare for you to discover, including the Open With button. Something I like, the Open With button.
Yeah,
The next
and
one.
also we have the code and policy document that we have mentioned in HydroShare as one of the ways you can share your data.
That's right, yeah. In fact, you all have agreed by joining a CIROH project to our data policy. In fact, when you sign your contract, when Alabama signed the master CIROH contract, it included a data sharing policy. And one of the outcomes of the Hydroinformatics working group over the last couple of years was creating a standards document and a recommended practices. And one of the recommended practices for data sharing is to put it in HydroShare.
Next is National Water Model, CIROH BigQuery API.
This is another piece that I'm a little bit passionate about. I've been, I think it all started a couple of years ago, several years ago, when on the HydroShare project, we were interested in getting the NIFI data out. Who knows what NIFI is? Anybody heard of NIFI? Oh wow, the National Flood Interoperability Experiment, the predecessor, the embryonic National Water Model. Well, we were quite interested in NIFI and the idea that this was the first version, but I couldn't get the data out of the NIFI. It was these netcdf files. And I didn't know what to do with them, and I was frustrated. And to be honest, Arpita, I was slightly angered by the netcdf files. And I just wanted a time series. I'm a hydrologist. Give me a time series. I don't want a slice of the entire United States at one time step. That means nothing to me. Just give me a time series for the Provo River. I beg of you. That was my request to the developers of NIFI and the National Water Model. So we tried multiple efforts, even under the HydroShare project, to get that data out. And now we've ended up finally releasing this API that is rock solid. Well, yeah, I think it is rock solid. It's been tested for a year now. We have users using it. There are still people in this room, and you know who you are, and you want the flows for the Winooski River, you're going to tell your grad student to go download the entire netcdf bucket to get the Winooski River out. Please don't do that. It takes like a month, literally, to download the entire netcdf bucket. And you can get the Winooski River in one REST request through this API, and it takes about 5 seconds. It comes down to you, if that's the one you want.
Yeah, and to get access to this, it's all it's just one form you have to submit that's available on DocuHub. fill out that form and we'll be able to give you access key for your institute that you can share within your group.
Why do they need an access key?
They need an access key so we can control the cost from our side as well. We are actually making sure to monitor it on our side. We get alerts in our CIROH-admin at ua.edu. We'll keep monitoring that on our side to make sure our cloud budget is not going up or no one is using it.
Yeah, Google charges by egress, but the egress for downloading 12 bytes of data from the Winooski River is a penny or something. But some of you, and again, you know who you are, you like to write code like this. For I equals 0 to 2.7 million. And do this loop. That's just gonna, yeah. I think Arpita might call you if you run 2.7 million requests on the API, but most of you don't need that. You can do the 12 sites that you need pretty quickly and easily, and it'll just be a tinkling of change in the bucket of cost. You heard it from James. No, Josh, we heard it from you. James says that Google will forgive UA because they're the owner of the CIROH account faster than they will forgive us if you accidentally do a request that I equals 1 to 2.7 million loop. So thank you. Good. And hopefully in the middle of that loop, somebody at UA will catch that and say, hey, there might be a better way to grab this data. If you literally need all of the forecasts, historical, and we're talking about the archived forecasts here. We're talking about the archives since 2018. If you need something from 2018 for the whole country, great. Grab the netcdf files. Otherwise, use the API. Is it hard to get the API key? Is it difficult to get an API key?
Oh, not at all, actually. So Benjamin Lee from our side, he will be able to help you support this to get you a key.
Do I have to talk to my IT
Not at all. No.
gurus at BYU?
Just talk to our IT for that.
Wow, I love that we can keep skipping my IT guy. This is great. Okay, here's another technology we love. This won't fit for all of you, but some of you might find a use for Tethys platform. This is a tool that basically I like to call it a giant box, a big box of web GIS stuff. If you need to develop a web application that has some sort of spatial component to it, like a map or a chart or something, you might need to start gathering web tools and assembling them into a framework. You might need to build login information and authorization because you don't want unauthorized people to use your app, and so forth and so on. That is the role of Tethys platform. Tethys, it's not an entirely brand new code base, it's a collection of existing tools you already know. It's just bringing them all together in a nice framework, and it allows you to build web applications. Like this very simple example from Tasvia in my group, where she just added a couple of layers to a map, and read some JSON files of some stream flows, and built a very simple visualization within probably the first month of her being at BYU, using the Tethys framework, which would have taken her months and months and months if I asked her to build this entire thing from scratch. So Tethys platform is another nice one. I think it's being used in other places in the CIROH infrastructure.
Yeah, many apps are currently deployed on Tethys. So we'd like to show you some of that here. Let's see. So
Here's one of the apps, and we'll get to the portal and we can look at a couple of other ones. But this is one of the apps inside of Tethys platform that we're kind of excited about. The developer, I think, is here. Corey is in the back of the room back there. Some of you saw this in the Tethys workshop yesterday. We've had people say, but Dr. Ames, writing 18 lines of code is too much. Can we just make it drag and drop? And Corey said, we can do that. And he has built a drag and drop version of the Tethys visualization environment, and it's called Tethys Dashboard. And this actually is deployed on portal.ciroh.org. It's at portal.ciroh.org under apps. You can find the Tethys Dashboard. And that allows you to pull together different maps and graphs and tools as plugins to build your own visualizations and share them with other people.
And portal.ciroh.org is deployed on our CIROH AWS account. So BYU has its own account where it's deployed right now. So if you're wondering where your app getting deployed, it's on the cloud.
I believe also a couple of Tethys apps have been built to support part of the NextGen framework. Will we get a chance to see those?
You mean the visualization one, the film visualizer, not the film, but the next-gen box visualizer, data stream visualizer, those are currently deployed on cloud as well.
And I think we'll see those maybe a little bit later in a few more later slides.
Yeah.
Awesome, thanks. Okay, this is yet another tool that I've been wanting for the last several years, maybe back to NIFI days. NIFI, what a great word. That's a David Maidment invention. Those of you know David Maidment, he invented that term, NIFI. He thought it was very close to nifty, which is half of you don't know what the word nifty means. It means like kind of cool. But like, I was born in 1950, and I say nifty. So this is NIFI evolved to National Water Model, evolved to an actionable intelligence app. The reason I reached back to NIFI and David again is the first time I heard David Maidment talk about, the first time I talked, I heard David Maidment talk about the NIFI and National Water Model. You might have to go, yeah, there you go. He did it in the context of flood emergency response, and he showed some really compelling pictures. And some of you may remember him talking about the deaths that have come from very big floods in very small streams, where NOAA, the National Weather Service, wasn't managing them, or wasn't predicting them, or wasn't modeling them. And it was back in those days that people like Ed Clark and others and David got together and said, no, we can start doing something about this. We can model those little streams. And David always talked about wanting to have something in the pocket of the emergency responders that would notify them when my small stream is going to flood. And I'm really excited that we actually have a beta release of the very first CIROH mobile application. If you haven't seen these QR codes and you would like to join the testing group for Android or the testing group for iPhone, scan that and add yourself to the list, and we'll just put you on a list. And as we're rolling out those testing versions, you can do this. The emergency notifications aren't involved yet, but this is our first effort to try to make this data accessible to the non-nerds of the world. This is supposed to be clean, easy, accessible for emergency responders and for, whitewater rafters for all I care. How about some fly fishermen? This is supposed to help the fly fishermen as well.
Yeah, it's so cool. We need more mobile apps. Make it easy for users to use the data.
Okay, this one has the wrong title, and I'm sorry for that. With apologies to Ibrahim. Ibrahim sent me this video. This is HydroSuite. This is another really exciting tool. I love it. Have you seen Ibrahim's flashy demos? I mean, I think there should be a new prize, a CIROH prize, for the coolest visualizations. Because as much as we try to make cool visualizations, Ibrahim's group makes beautiful visualizations. One of the things that he's been working on is called HydroSuite, and it's literally a JavaScript client-side set of tools that can do hydrologic modeling directly in your web browser. And it's kind of mind-blowing to me to think that the browsers are so powerful now that we can do this all through JavaScript components in a browser. But I want you to see this as kind of a teaser. And if you're thinking about some kind of hydrologic analysis that you want to do in a browser, grab Ibrahim and talk and put together a collaboration. There's opportunities there. One of the cool ones that just flashed by was a large language model modeling environment, where you pick up your microphone, and excuse me if I get this wrong, Ibrahim, but you pick up your microphone and you say, computer, build me a hydrologic model. And it begins, and you say, please add data from the National Water Model. Provide a graph of the short-range forecast. Integrate this into something, and in real time you watch the blocks start appearing on the screen. We're going to ask Ibrahim to do a live demo of this at one of the next meetings, because it's going to be, I think, a little mind-blowing when we see what was described to me.
And it's not on DocuHub right now. We might want to get that there. Okay, so we had a look at our Cyberinfrastructure apps, applications coming out. The fourth one is about hydrologic modeling. So,
yeah, we can trade places to talk about the modules. Think about one of the original goals of CIROH. It's one thing for NOAA to spin up a national water model. But how does the community get involved in that? I've asked several times, does my IT department have to know about this? Our IT department is pretty strict. I'm guessing your IT department is pretty strict too. How about in Vermont? You guys have a strict IT department? They start putting all these controls on your computers that monitor your keystrokes and all this stuff. Oh my, no, not that bad, okay. Well, if you work for the federal government, I think you have a pretty strict IT department, wouldn't you say?
Oh yes. And at CIROH, we support the open source community, and I believe that it has to be quick to access the compute as well for the researchers.
So how are we going to let researchers make edits or changes to the federally operated national water model? How is that going to happen?
So let's take a look at our community hydrologic modeling, where it includes all the different containerized applications coming out for hydrologic modeling. So this is our next-gen box ecosystem right now. It's no more a tool, no more one single tool. It's an ecosystem that contains a lot of different tools. Next-gen box data preprocess that you can do the data preprocessing using Python package and just run one command to prepare your data and run next-gen box. We have next-gen box tier to do your evaluation. We have NGIB HPC infra to run next-gen box on HPC. We have cloud infra image that we keep updating on our side. All the CI/CD processes, we take care of doing that on our side. We have data stream that's coming out of this, running on cloud every day for 3 GPUs right now and producing the output on AWS S3 bucket. We have next-gen box visualizer as well. So it's no more a single tool, it's a whole ecosystem and the whole team behind this. A lot of people help behind this.
So Arpita, before we show like all of the parts of it, what is the role of next-gen in the box?
Yeah.
Why can't we just edit the national water model and put our new toys in there?
So before next-gen box, it was like taking months, weeks to install next-gen on local machine, do the research, but with the next-gen box, it's all containerized. You can run next-gen in 30 minutes. And we did that demo on
so I can
Thursday
basically
workshop as well.
my own copy of the next-gen version of the national water model, and I can run it.
You can run it on local machine, you can change it, edit it, we can help you learn that process as well. And also you can run it on cloud, HPC, but you'll get the reproducible result.
That's pretty cool.
So that's why, so one of the idea was to bring all this together for the community using a product portfolio for next-gen box. So that's our brand new portfolio website for next-gen box that contains all the details in one place. So we have goals, mission, vision mentioned here. It has all the information about all the tools available in one place. We have documentation, very detailed documentation on DocuHub. We are all linking everything from there in one place here. And we recently submitted a paper, next-gen box paper, that's under review, but it will be out soon and we'll share with the community. But some of the parts of that paper we have added in this next-gen box 101 training module that can be available here. So if you want to do this course on your own during the summer or later, anytime, please feel free to go through this course. It's an online course to learn next-gen box. We have great community impact. Right now we are almost 9,000 Docker pools for our next-gen box image. And we try to highlight all the papers, posts that community is using for next-gen box. So this was the first paper that came out that used next-gen box and Wukong both. So we highlighted that in our blog, and we'd like to highlight your research papers related to next-gen box in the website. That's our fabulous team behind this. It's a lot of effort from the whole team to just make this available. I really wanted to thank you, each and every one of you here, and great partners, collaborators. So everything in one place.
That's exciting. I feel like this is a major milestone, really, for CIROH, because from the beginning, this was a goal that we would have a community that could help develop and advance and promote continental scale modeling. And now it can actually be done.
Yeah. Making it simple for researchers to do their research related to next gen. So that's the research training module we discussed about and the papers published. But let's take a look at the how next-gen box, you can run it on your local machine, NSF VM that we provided. You can make it work anywhere. It's a UVX command, one UVX command for data preprocessing that will open a map, and you can go to browser to look at the map, select your region of your interest, and provide the date. So this is something how it will look like on your end. You can go to your desired location, choose the start date, end date that you like to use, and it will give you a command there below the map. You just copy that command, run it on your terminal, and you should be able to run next-gen in a box in few minutes. So that's the -- run option in UVX command. It lets you create data, subsets the hydro fabric, creates forcing file, realization file, all the needed configurations, and run next-gen in the box. Next-gen.
So this is allowing me to run it for my watershed or my basin of interest.
Yes.
I don't have to run the whole country.
Yeah, this is for your local area of your interest. Yeah, for sure.
Very cool.
So we have integrated T-Herd and Tethys visualizer as well in this whole pipeline. So this is how you run T-Herd. There's one script, run T-Herd.sh, that RTI is working on and help us integrate that in next-gen box. So it's a great community effort that's coming together in one place. And we try to maintain it simple to have, so anyone can run next-gen box, the whole pipeline on Ethereum. So once the T-Herd evaluation is completed, we run Tethys visualization. There's a separate view on Tethys script that you can run and visualize it. So once the container spins up, it gives you a URL. You go to that URL and it will give you all your results in one place.
Let's see if there are any of the tier team here. Anybody that worked on tier? Okay,
Yeah.
a few, yeah. So correct me if I'm wrong, but the value of this packet's primary use is to use it to evaluate the performance of the model against actual observations. Wanted to get that in one sentence. Thanks.
Great work. So this is the visualizer, next-gen box visualizer that Aquavegio is helping us build as well, and along with the Ames BYU team. So you select your catchment, the run that you did, and it will give you the output nexus, catchment flow, and catchment tab. And also there is an option, if you select the gauge of your gauge, then it will pop up the T-Herd data as well.
So let me ask, so for tier, I think there are a lot of people here that are interested in evaluating the capabilities, functionality, and the workability of the National Water Model. This is my fear, is I don't think everybody knows that tier is out there and that they can like literally install it on their computer, and they don't actually have to use it just with NextGen, but any kind of modeling and simulation they're doing. Is that correct? What if I'm running like a machine learning model and I'm trying to simulate streamflow somewhere? I think I can use your framework to evaluate the performance. Wow, do you guys know that? So you don't all have to rewrite your own performance evaluation tool because part of the CIROH team has done that already. I love that, thanks.
So let's take a look at another one that is used, research data stream that's basically coming out of next-gen box. It's running on AWS, CIROH AWS. Currently, Jordan is helping us build this from Linker side and prepare. So he's running data stream CLI in the backend on the server side and making sure for the different BPUs we have, it's creating it's pre-processing the input data, validating the input package, executing the next-gen box, and doing the Merkle tree hashing of outputs as well. So it's all stored in our AWS S3 bucket. Currently, the daily outputs and the visualization is available for data stream, which shows that the daily output is generated. So you just have to enter the date of your interest, available forecast, start range, available cycle, and the VP. And you can visualize it on your end. So anyone can run this. I wanted to make sure you know that this is all available in your hands as well.
Who's part of this data stream? Did we capture that correctly, Jordan? Yes? Yeah? Okay. Well,
Yeah, a
you
lot of
think we
great
use
work
this?
coming out.
Is this something people should be using? Okay, and this thing is literally running every day for certain watersheds.
For 3 reviews.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, we need calibration data. We want community to give us the calibrated parameters for different regions, and we'll get that integrated in our research data stream as well.
Let's talk about flood impact modeling now.
Yeah, so let's take a look at the FIM as a service that FIM team is bringing that together, and it's currently deployed. Anyone can run this on our CIROH Jupyter Hub. I want to make sure you can get this information on how to run FIMSER from DocuHub. Under product section, we have FIMSER documentation available, and there's the demo showing how to download the whole steps. All the steps are in this one single notebook.
So these are actually, this is a piece of Ski's work here, and I think what's happening is that we can hit an endpoint and retrieve flood extent model or outputs, geospatial data, and put them into our own maps, and then overlay them with other data and compare and contrast what's happening beyond that. Ski. FIMSERV. Who do you want to use FIMSERV?
Those who want to run the population map, like using SWOT model, they can use the FIMSERV. This is like automated process, so they don't need to worry about.
Does it give me hand maps?
Mm-hmm.
Can other flood extent models also be served through FIMSERV?
Right now, it's only using the water provision thing. So in the future, we are considering more flexibility thing. So in future, it will definitely.
I love that. I think, is there an opportunity potentially to come up with a common database for flood extent maps and then serve them all out of a common database? If only there was somebody working on this, but he's not here right now. And so Dr. Jim Nelson doesn't get highlighted today. Sorry, Jim. Well, he's on an airplane somewhere. But Jim and this crew and a bunch of FIM folks are working on a common database for storing and sharing flood impact maps. Why don't we look at this?
Yeah, and we have FIM visualizer as well.
I think if you go to Jim's white paper, the idea was, wait a second, if I run a 2D model or a 3D model or a hand model, I'm getting the same output, which is effectively a flood extent and perhaps a flood depth map. What if we had a common way to store and manage all of that in HydroShare and then be able to retrieve it in different visualizations? So this is happening in parallel with FIMSERV and some of the FIM modeling that the Alabama team is doing.
Yeah, and I want to highlight this all work related to Community Next Gen, and FIM is all open source, so anyone can contribute to this one. It's all on a GitHub. Feel free to go help us contribute more so you can help us build this more better every day.
Well, Arpita, we're getting close to the end here, and I just want to remind everyone there is a quiz. And this is the kind of quiz that even if you know nothing about CIROH, if you've been paying attention to this presentation, you could actually win.
Yeah, and
You could succeed in this quiz.
maybe you can give your hat to someone.
I could give my hat to the winner. Do y'all have a hat? Don't we have CIROH hats?
2.
I see one. Where was the other one?
Oh no.
2, right there. See, you're not wearing it. So. Oh, you have it. Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, so let me show us a couple other ways to run NextGen on HPC. So we have HPC Singularity image that you can try on your end. We try to maintain both Docker image and Singularity on our end, and it has all the same capabilities there as well. So another option to run NextGen on CIROH Jupyter Hub is through, we have a new image that Furkan helped us build this as well. So NextGen National Water Model image is currently available on CIROH Jupyter Hub. These are the simple steps. If you run it on your side, you'll be able to run NextGen on CIROH Jupyter Hub as well. So please let us know if you need access to any of these IT resources, so we'll be able to help you out.
The final slide, a couple of slides we want to show here are on outreach and education. Recognizing that we have an outreach and education group inside CIROH, we've just highlighted on a couple of things here. Some of the ways we're trying to outreach these specific tools. One of them is through the CIROH portal. And for the sake of time, I'm not going to go through the whole portal. We did have an opportunity to show that in detail to some of you yesterday. Just be aware, this is our effort to have a dynamic library of apps, of data sets, and of publications and courses that are all relevant to you as CIROH researchers. If your course, app, or data set or publication doesn't appear here, there's documentation, pretty detailed documentation actually in DocuHub on how to add it in and how to bring it into the portal.
Let me show you where it stands. So on DocuHub, docs.CIROH.org, if you go to product section, there is a CIROH research portal, detailed documentation about the portal there.
So we'd love to see you use this. This comes as an answer. We don't have many of the feds here today, but in past meetings where we've had feds, they have said, give us quick and easy access to quickly summarize what are the publications that you guys have come up with, what are the data sets, what are the apps and tools. So this portal.CIROH.org is for them, but it's also for us. And so if your stuff isn't on here, then it's not getting the visibility it could be getting potentially.
Yeah, and also CIROH DocuHub, good place to add your GitHub URLs, the research products, tools coming out from your group. Let's make sure it's all available in DocuHub as well. So as you see here, we have all the GitHub URLs related to CIROH community hydrologic modeling in one place. We have separate section for evaluation, data management, access tools, snow sensing modeling tools, machine learning and AI tools, visualization and analysis tools, and community film mapping, and we recently added a new one, mobile apps. We also have these services, so all the infrastructure that we showed you today, you can easily get access from here. There are infrastructure access guide, all the forms, everything is available for CIROH Jupyter Hub, AWS, Google Cloud in same place, so you don't have to go anywhere to find it. And also the public cloud, AWS account, Google, more details about Jupyter Hub, HydroShare integration, Quasi Jupyter Hub, everything is available here, on-premise, Panther, WooCommerce. We keep on updating this documentation from our end. So feel free to access this, and the NSF access is also available. So not only that, but our policies document are here too. So the data and core sharing policy document that came out of the working group is also available here, NextGen framework documentation from the working group. Two. And then we have the blog section. We'd like to highlight, that's a platform to share your knowledge with the community as well. So if you have something that you'd like to put on this blog, please reach out to our team. We'll be able to help you add your blog. And the news section we do monthly. So we do monthly news about the community NextGen to give you latest updates on where it stands in terms of community NextGen, what's the new NextGen box calibration feature that got recently added in April, the new product website, and the new training tutorial. So everything in one place in document.
Okay, so with that sort of gets us to the, there's some usage metrics. Wow.
2,500 users we reached so far.
How many of those users are AI bots that are scraping our... We want them to. We want them to learn.
We'll find a way to find it.
Okay. Well, this is...
That covers all about the infrastructure, data applications, hydrologic modeling and outreach, and education that we wanted to share with you all.
Well, because this is one of Steve and Sagi's favorite things too, we're going to try it. This is our effort. We've never done one of these, so give us a break if we did it wrong. But this is our effort at go to the first page, at a Mentimeter. You've seen these in the past. 12-question CIROH Hydroinformatics and Cyberinfrastructure Mentimeter quiz. So to join said quiz, you're all welcome to join. Please scan the QR code. has had a handful of times. I haven't taken a boating, I haven't gone like camping in it, it isn't sweaty, I always wash my hair. So yes, this hat will become yours if you win this Minty. You can even expand it. Look at that. It doesn't have all those funny plastic
Maybe next
ones.
time we need a t-shirt, how about that?
We'll work on a t-shirt next time. This time it's a hat. Okay, are you ready? Everybody join? We're at 74. Last call.
We have more than 74 in this room.
Yeah, some people were not paying attention. They know they're not going to win.
They don't need your help.
They don't want my hats. They're like, I don't need that. Somebody says, I wish I had the voting hat. Okay, let's try this. Question number 1. 90 players are ready. And I think I have to hit enter. Okay, the speed matters. Speed matters on this.
First question.
Look at your device. What is our recommended data storage system for research data?
HydroShare, HydroSave, HydroStream.
Okay. Well, most of you got it right. Sorry, David, there's a couple that your branding just hasn't quite clicked with a couple of people. Okay, so far it looks like, oh, there's some speedy people there. Okay, very good. Let's try the next one. Question number 2. And enter to start. Speed matters. Which is not part of the UA on-premise compute options?
Wukong, Panther or Sesame?
Okay. So,
Wukong, Panther. We do have Wukong and Panther.
branding matters. I think Sesame is a good name for Sesame Street. A lot of us grew up with Sesame Street. Open Sesame. Hey, exactly. Okay, looks like in the lead is Mengio. Wow, way to go in the front row here. All right, next question. Number 3. Everybody ready? And go. How many new software tools did CIROH report in 2024? Oh, this one's a tough one. You have to be paying attention on the very first slide, or the second one.
27, 93 or 160?
Okay. It's okay. I know that email you had to check was more important than getting this question right. 93. That is correct. That's pretty cool. 93 tools, and I don't think we have them all documented on DocuHub. So we need to work on getting those documented on DocuHub.
We need their help, please.
And that puts Casper in the lead and Dan on second and Tony third. Okay, very nice. Let's try the next one. Number 4. Ready, set, go. I'm trying to use my radio DJ voice. I was a radio DJ in college. Which cloud computing services does CIROH not support?
AWS, DigitalOcean, Google Cloud, Azure.
Okay. By the way, DigitalOcean is actually pretty cool. If you need a place to put up something and you don't want to use any of the others, I'd use DigitalOcean. It's cool. Who's the vote goat? That's funny. And okay, Daniel's still in the lead. By the way, that's not me. I don't know which Daniel this is. Okay, here we go. Next question, number 5. You still have time to pull ahead. There's only 12, so. What data is not available from the CIROH BigQuery API?
Retrospective data, analysis, assimilation, short-range forecast, or return periods.
Actually, interesting. Return periods is the newest thing we've added, and it's there and ready for you to use for actionable information. Retrospective has been highly requested, though. I think that one might have separated out the pack a little bit. Let's see. Sorry, man. Mars is ahead. Mars and Tony. Okay, looking good, you guys. All right. What's your next one? Which tool is a web app development platform?
Do you hear BigQuery, FitServe, that is?
All right, good. You're paying attention. Most of you, that's great. Yes, that's a platform. Give it a shot. Great documentation, a good way to build a web app.
T here is for evaluation.
T here for evaluation. And that puts Tony Castronova in the lead. Huh? Question number 7. There's still a chance to pull ahead. Which tool provides maps of flood inundation as a service?
Do you hear BigQuery, FinServe, that is?
Okay, now we're getting somewhere.
Read the FIM in the name.
FIM. It was that's helpful. And of course, speed matters. SJN was the fastest on that one, but Tony is still in the lead, with VoteGoat coming up from behind. Number 8. It is a pretty nice hat. I'm actually going to feel bad about losing my hat.
Yes. Steve, to get you one.
If he has one. All right.
What is the main purpose of NextGen in a box? Community hydrologic modeling, big box of GIS stuff, data services in cloud, or scientific visualization?
There we go. There we go. Community hydrologic modeling. It's your chance to get involved in building and testing the national model. And with that, who's shooting? Okay, Supath, you're coming up from behind there. Okay, number 9. What will you not find on the CIROH portal?
Curated data, curated apps, CIROH publications, hydrologic courses, official CIROH songbook.
I'm feeling like this. Yeah. Why isn't that one there? We should have a songbook.
We did.
Who's working on it? Is that what that AI chip was doing in the UA thing, was making songs? All right. Nia was the fastest.
Oh, he's always the fastest. I can say that from the work.
Yeah. Okay, number 10. 10 of 12.
Which CIROH website has IT request forms?
docs.CIROH.org, portal.CIROH.org, ngiab.CIROH.org. Or I have to go talk to my IT staff at my university. Actually, we should have made that a little more clear.
Yes.
Okay,
So,
go ahead.
yeah, docs.CIROH.org, all about the IT that you need. So DocuHub is where we started. So that was the goal, to start DocuHub is to have a place to where we can share IT related stuff for CIROH. So that's how it started. We built DocuHub and docs.CIROH.org. We have a separate services section for CIROH that provides all the services, public and private.
So if you need an API key, or if you want to provision some AWS, you just go to Docs and there's a place to request it.
Yeah.
All right, and number 11 is going to separate the postdocs from the pre-med. Let's see. Okay, engineering postdocs. Which CIROH website is intended for sharing updated dynamically from HydroShare?
Docs.CIROH.org, portal, or NextGen in a box.
This is dynamically created content coming out of HydroShare. That's right, Portal. Portal is tightly tied to HydroShare, and using the very cool API that HydroShare has, we're able to put stuff into Portal. Oh man. Tony, you were hanging on to that lead, mister. Okay, last question. Are you ready? 73 players are ready. 74. Last question. What is the best way for my model or data to be featured in next year's plenary talk by Dan and Arpita?
Write a great white paper, email Dan and Arpita, publish it on portal or document. 57, no emails.
Yeah, we don't need I mean, email's fine, right? We don't mind giving email.
Yeah, we don't mind.
But publish it on Portal or DocuHub, and let's get some publicity to it, and then feature it, and then let us feature it in our talk next year. And in the end, it appears that
Tony, or
will you pass this back? Will you come get a picture with me and have it, please? And who was Skin, anyway? Skin did really well. Who was that? Skin? I'm going to tell your wife. Who was Daniel? All right, very good. And then there was someone else. There's Nia. Nia, raise your hand. Great work up there. And Elsa. Who else's name is on here? Vote Goat. Okay, good. Which one were you, Kirsten?
Volgo.
Okay, and back there. Who was Dragonite? Oh, you're Dragonite? Yeah. You're Dragonite. You were both Dragonites? Good thing you guys didn't win. We'd have to have more numbers. Okay, come up here. Let's do pictures. Sure, Arpita, and Tony, get back to your hats. Thanks, everybody.